Unreal Engine has been updated to version 5.3, and several artists and developers have been taking advantage of the new features, some of which are pretty incredible. Just wait until you see some of the demos and games I'll be sharing today. Just when it starts to feel like traditional rasterized graphics and the hardware to run them have plateaued, new games and projects arise with visuals that raise the bar yet again, aided by new technologies and novel ways of pushing the envelope without sacrificing performance. We'll be taking a look at one such technology, a soon-to-be-launched mobile application that promises to revolutionize how visual effects are added to games and video content. Speaking of mobile phones, I rarely change phones and I never buy the latest flagship. As long as it can take decent photos, has a high refresh rate screen, and can run Raid Shadow Legends, who is sponsoring today's video, then it's all good. Raid Shadow Legends has a super detailed tactical RPG battle system, fantastic graphics for a mobile game, and if you're into collecting and leveling up characters, then there's over 800 unique champions available in the game. There's PvE and PvP content, although I personally prefer the single-player modes. After you've min-maxed your champions, leveling them up and upgrading their gear in the campaign or quests, there's a final challenge that's incredibly rewarding to complete, and that's the Doom Tower, which is basically a gigantic prison full of baddies, and some of the bosses there are especially tough. One way of advancing through the Doom Tower is finding unlikely synergies, sometimes even giving some of your champions bonuses during battles when other less powerful champions die in battle. It's an intricate system, especially if you're playing manual, that requires big brain planning, and it's glorious when your plans finally come together with the right assortment of champions, gear, and the right strategy. If you are grinding for silver, you can also just auto battle after you've set up your champions with the right gear, especially in the daily tournaments where you can farm bosses for gear, which you can then sell for silver. I like going into events with two very powerful champions that will do the bulk of the work, and other lower level champions that are just there for leveling up. Having grown up playing tactical RPGs, I really enjoy Raid Shadow Legends. It has the right balance of strategy and resource management, and it's a ton of fun to play. It's my go-to game when I'm queuing in the supermarket or when I'm taking a break from editing videos and I'm just laying in the sofa chilling with my dog. This October, be prepared for a scare with Raid. This Halloween, there will be treats and tricks for those who brave the Raid Yard. Download Raid Shadow Legends using the links below, copy your in-game player ID, and then venture over to raidyard.plarium.com from October 15 to November 10th. Once in the haunted graveyard, grab a shovel, pick a grave, and start digging. You'll be in with a chance to dig up some amazing in-game items and even real-life prizes, ranging from epic and legendary Halloween-themed raid champions to Amazon gift cards with a total value of $20,000. If you're an existing player, you can still get involved. Head over to raidyard.plarium.com and you'll find a special promo code that everyone can use to earn a small gift in-game. Now, how would you like a free legendary champion? Sun Wukong is Raid's take on the Monkey King from Chinese mythology, and getting him is very easy. Just log in 7 different days between now and October 23rd, and he's yours. No demons to slay or questing. Just log in and get this awesome legendary champion for free. This month also sees the return of Prime Gaming drops in-game, so Amazon Prime members can earn themselves some special in-game goodies. With all of this exciting stuff and more coming to Raid, if you haven't started playing yet, then what are you waiting for? Use my link in the description or scan my QR code to get insane bonuses. We are talking an epic champion like Errant from the Bannerlords faction, and other useful items like energy refills, skill tom, and XP booster. Once you're in and crushing your enemies, come find me under the name Cortex, and if you're fast enough, you can join my clan. So just hit my link in the description and I'll see you on the battlefield. Jumping straight into Unreal Engine 5.3 and the new features, lighting has been improved significantly with support for hardware-accelerated ray tracing and hardware acceleration for Lumen. There's support for pre-simulated bake volumetric effects, meaning developers can run simulations for volumetric effects like smoke or fire in a render farm, and then the bake simulations are played back in real time in the game. You can see here the smoke coming out of this chimney looking super fluffy and realistic. The same for explosions and something like a tornado. There's also a new cloth simulation system that can be simulated and cached in-game using the ML deformer. But the most interesting is the evolution of Lumen, which now gets pretty close to a path-traced scene. An example of the new hardware-accelerated Lumen capabilities is this fantastic demo from JSFilmz on YouTube. There are very few artifacts and flickering in the Lumen version, while the path trace version has a ton of noise and artifacting, but I guess that could come down to the artist's render settings. While the lighting on the path trace version looks more realistic to me, the Lumen version comes close enough with much better performance and no artifacting, showing that Lumen can be a good stepping stone to ultra-realistic graphics for those who can't afford a 5090 next year. By the way, check my video on the 5090 that I published a few days ago so you know what to expect from Nvidia's next gen. And you can actually see a preview of Lumen 5.4 for the upcoming UE5 update in this demo by the same artist. I'll link to his YouTube channel in the description. This is a pre-rendered demo with 2400 frames, which took 16 minutes to render on a 4090 in the Lumen version and 27 hours in the Unreal Engine Path Tracer. You can see how close they are, but how the Path Tracer still has artifacting in the blurry light in the background, for example. By the way, the facial motion cap was done with an iPhone, along with the MetaHuman animator. Jay from JSFilmz also showed a demo of Unreal Engine 5.3's Path Tracer using the forest map. There's an unfortunate amount of camera shake, so I'll show only a few stills to avoid making you vomit all over your screen. There are tons of other new features and updates for UE5. Check the video description for a link to the release notes. A game that has just been announced and that puts the body cam effect to good use is Graveyard Shift, being made in UE5. The graveyard setting is perfect for some moody lighting, and the relatively slow-paced gameplay fits the body cam type visuals really well. Again, all games and demos covered in this video will be linked in the description below. Coming from JSFilmz is also this incredible demo in Unreal Engine 5.3 showing off first-person shooter-style gameplay with path tracing enabled for some ultra-realistic graphics. You can tell there's quite a bit of noise still in the image, which is to be expected. I've said this before, I think the coming generations of GPUs will focus on fixed function for things like denoising. Perhaps in the same way the LSS is, well, supposedly trained with a neural network, maybe denoising can go the sparsity route and make use of hardware acceleration in some form, as well as deep learning training. I have a video in the works that I will be releasing shortly after this one, covering some graphics technologies that will be emerging in the next couple of years. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that one. Next up, for fans of the Blair Witch Project, comes this 90s video camera style horror game called Don't Scream, which is already on early access on Steam, so you can go check it out. Interestingly, the game requires a microphone to play, and if you scream, you restart, which is a cool mechanic. I can see this one being popular with playthrough YouTubers, and I think this bodycam old school analog camera trend will be all the rage in the coming months. If you're a fan of Skyrim, and who isn't, then this lore-accurate recreation of Skyrim's Solitude town in Unreal Engine 5 from Leo Torres is just stunning. I've been playing Starfield on and off, and I can't help but wonder how much better Bethesda games would look like in a modern engine like UE5. It's a controversial topic, I know, but at least as far as visuals are concerned, I'd say Unreal Engine 5 would take their IPs to another level. Now, I don't normally cover augmented reality here on the channel, but this demo blew my mind. This is from an upcoming app for iOS called Simulon that promises to democratize visual effects for all video creators out there. This overlay of the mosquito in amber model onto the real environment has got to be one of the best implementations of AR that I've ever seen. The way the lighting affects the model and the environment is just outstanding. So you can use your phone to capture in real time with a lower quality output and then render in the cloud with pro-level high quality for some truly impressive results. The models can be animated, so what you see here is real-life footage of some woods, and then overlaid on top of that is a 3D model of an astronaut and robot. The lighting on the models matches the environment perfectly. It's really impressive stuff. This next really cool demo comes from Karim Shousha, who is a senior lighting artist at Ubisoft and showcases the same scene in UE5 in different seasons using Megascans. Check the video description for more work from this artist. It's crazy that this can all be done with free assets. If you're a fan of games like Stranded Deep, you'll appreciate this absolutely stunning underwater environment from artist Pontus Ryman at Epic Games. Very realistic and immersive, and quite soothing. Underwater environments are one of those things that games rarely get right. Now, our last demo is the stuff of science fiction, really. If you thought neural radiance fields, or NeRFs, were impressive, 3D Gaussian splatting takes that non-rasterization type of rendering to a whole new level. I will talk more about this technique in a video that I'll release shortly after this one, but to keep it simple, Gaussian splats are basically a bunch of blobs in space. Instead of polygon meshes or voxels or distance fields, it represents the scene with millions of particles called 3D Gaussians. So for example, you can turn a 2D video into a 3D scene and make it usable in real time. That's right, unlike NeRFs, you can actually make something out of this, and that includes scenes from movies, like this scene from Inglourious Basterds. The thing is, the 3D Gaussians can be interacted with, so you can relight the scene, make the camera pan around the characters, and add other 3D elements, all inside Unreal Engine and in real time. It's just mind-blowing. Check out Bad Decision Studio on YouTube for more demos of this technology. And be sure to subscribe, as I'll be covering this in more detail, as well as other exciting upcoming technologies in a soon-to-be released video here on the channel. Thanks for watching, and until the next one.